So I get a lot of people saying that arm knitting can be kind of pricey when you're making a blanket. So I wanted to make this video for you guys to kind of give you an idea of how much a blanket can cost if you buy from certain websites or if you use coupons or wait for a sale. So this is the yarn that I use for about 99% of my blankets. And this is the Couture Jazz by Premier Yarns. And this costs $7.99 a skein, but if you go on premieryarns.com, they offer 15% off of 3 skeins or more. So if you're going to make a blanket, I always recommend 7 or 8 skeins. So if you were to buy 7 skeins of this on Premier Yarns with the 15% off, it would cost just under $48 plus shipping, which is really reasonable if you're comparing how much it would cost if you were to buy the big chunky merino wool. Your other option to purchase this yarn is go to your local AC Moore or your local Joann's. I know my local store only carries it in the winter. So sometimes if you can get it in the store, they'll have coupons that you can get in your email or on their app for like 20% off your entire purchase. So if you would want to do it that way, that would be cheaper. And I'm just going to show you how to make a blanket with it. So I have 7 skeins here of the Couture Jazz, and this is in the color Calm Blue. So you want to pull out about 6 feet of tail from the skein. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to go ahead and make your slip knot. So if you want a more detailed arm knitting tutorial, you can head over to my channel and search for the how to arm knit a blanket in 45 minutes, and that will give you a slower, more detailed process. But I'm just going to kind of show you how many to cast on, how many rows to do, and how to bind off. Now we're going to cast on a total of 18 stitches. We have 1 stitch here, and we're going to cast on 17 more. And I will also add that sometimes Premier Yarns will send out coupons through their email. So if you go to their website and subscribe to their email list, you can wait for like a 20% off coupon. Sometimes they'll have that around a holiday or just randomly, and then you can save even more. Okay, so we have our 18 stitches, and now we're going to go ahead and start knitting our rows. So another way to get this yarn at the lowest price possible is to do a Google search for Couture Jazz yarn. And at the top of the page, it'll show a few different websites that sell Couture Jazz and what the cost of each skein is. If you click on a few different sites and see they're having free shipping or a sale, usually if they're having a sale, they'll advertise a coupon code on their home page. Or if it's the first time on their website, they will have a pop-up asking you to sign up with your email so you can receive a coupon code for your first purchase. And I am on row 30 at this point. And this is what we have so far. And now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to end your blanket. So the first thing you want to do is knit 2 stitches over to your other arm. And then you're going to pull that first stitch over the second stitch and off of your hand. And tighten it up just a little bit. Knit 1 more, pull the first stitch over the second one and off of your hand. And don't tighten it too much. And then you're just going to continue doing that along your entire blanket. And then you're all done with that one. You just have to go through and trim the ends where you added a new skein, and then weave in your ends on your cast on and bind off edges. This is Premier Yarns Mega Tweed yarn, And what I like to do is buy 6 skeins, and since it's not the thickest yarn, I will pull a strand from 3 skeins at one time and just use that as if it's one strand. This yarn goes for $7.99 a skein on premieryarns.com, or you can purchase it at your local AC Moore or Joann's Crafts store to avoid the shipping costs. So at $7.99, and you'd have to buy 6 skeins, it would be just under $48 for this blanket. So around the same price as the other one. Or you could wait for your local AC Moore or Joann's to come out with a coupon off of your total purchase, or the same thing with premieryarns.com. If you sign up for their email list, they occasionally send out coupons for like 20% off, so that would save you a little bit there. So what I do with this yarn, like I said, is I pull the 3 strands, I use them as if they are one, and then I cast on 18 stitches. So you'll need a tail of about 6 feet. And then you go ahead and make your slip knot and cast on 18 stitches. This counts as your first one, so do 17 more. So I have my 18 stitches here on my arm, and what I like to do is keep most of my arm knit stitches on the smallest part of my arm, more towards my wrist. I just keep them all bunched up there. That way the holes are smaller and the blanket just looks better. So now I'm going to go ahead and begin arm knitting this blanket. And again, if you'd like to see if you can get this yarn even cheaper, you can do the Google search and click on a few different websites and see if they're having sales or free shipping. And the color that I'm using for this yarn is the pink rose tweed, if you want to use the same exact yarn. So I just finished row 18 and I added on my other 3 skeins of yarn. So I knit a total of 31 rows with this yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and bind off. So knit 2 stitches over to your other arm and pull that first stitch over the second one and off of your hand. Knit 1, bind 1 off, and continue doing that across your blanket. So that is it for all of my tips and tricks for saving a little bit of money when it comes to arm knitting blankets. I hope they were helpful, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below or on my Instagram, Facebook page, or my blog.